So, you're taking a time travel vacation to ancient Mesopotamia. Maybe Ur 3, maybe Elam, or for this video, Sumer. Now, if you just go with no preparation and just show up, a couple of things are going to happen. You're either going to get killed by a group of scared peasants, by a group of guards, or you're going to die from starvation or some other horrible disease. We don't want that. And anyways, you're traveling to Sumer to see the great works and live the life of Mesopotamian luxury. How can you survive and befriend the Lugal and Ensi and live as a friend of the elite for a few weeks? Pay attention and you can, with just one duffel bag. After you arrive, you need to build trust and not show off too much modern stuff so as to not get accused of some form of witchcraft. I would recommend posing as a wandering trader. The Sumerians valued precious minerals just as we do, but notably, they did not work with diamonds as they did not have the technology yet. Gold is too expensive, and lapis lazuli is not as easily available as our best option. 5 kilograms of silver. Right now, that would run you about $8,300, which should not be an issue given that you have a time machine. But how do you make sure that you don't just get immediately robbed? You could make an argument that you'll come back with more, but who knows? I think it's better to make a bang and scare them into not robbing you. Weighing in at just a kilogram, I would personally choose a Beretta M9. You don't necessarily need to use it, but fire it in the air a few times if they try to rob you. 500 rounds will cost you about $100 and weigh about 6 kilos. This should surely be more than enough for a few weeks, but it's better to be safe than sorry. By this point you should have attracted enough attention but some caution in the guards and have been granted an audience with the Lugal. How do you woo over a Lugal and not just have him take your belongings and have you executed? Simple. What do Sumerians love? Beer and epic poems set to music. Now you have two paths you can go from here. Coors Light and Rust in Peace, or Miller Lite and 10. Regardless of what album you pick, it and the CD player are free from your dad's basement and weigh about 4 kilos together, plus the pack of batteries that you stole from his garage weighing, let's say, a kilo's worth. But see, beer was incredibly important to Sumer, functionally running its economy, entertainment, and also being relevant in its religion. They may not like the beer you bring and be offended. So instead, I'd recommend a case of White Monsters. A 24 pack will cost $40 and weigh 11 kilos. Actually, bring an extra half case for yourself. Now, you obviously cannot bring all of modern life's luxuries to Sumer. First of all, no cell service. Second of all, if you give them too much stuff and you accidentally increase their technological development, you could irrevocably alter our own timeline. If you bring things such as a stenography machine, solar calculator, model coal power plant, industrial blast furnace, or subscription-based consumption, they may accidentally start the Industrial Revolution early, which would mean that Tomi Iommi wouldn't lose his fingertips in 1965, forcing him to use lower gauge strings and rely on power chords, thus starting heavy metal, and that would be disastrous. But also, wouldn't it be funny to get the Lugal of Sumer hooked on some piece of modern technology? My solution? Your old Nintendo DS and a charged power bank. Weighing in at a kilo, this could provide the Lugal with about a month's worth of entertainment before it would be impossible to recharge, and probably get thrown in the Euphrates. Worst case is if it gets buried in his tomb, in which case everyone's going to think it's a hoax. Now, Sumer ultimately fell because they were not strong enough to resist outsiders. You've already left your mark on the elite class and have had a great time, but it is time to leave your mark on Sumerian culture. 10 average Sumerians are not strong enough to resist one Assyrian, so you need to get to training them. We can't teach them better farming methods or give them seeds for higher calorie plants, as that would affect historical development too much. We also can't teach them hockey. It's too hot for the river to freeze, and they would be using weak reeds for stick production. Too inefficient. The large plains and the need for physical strength are best suited for teaching them how to play football. By having a group of guards run line drills, teaching them forward passing plays, and advising them on how best to sack the quarterback, they would spread this knowledge among their society and get stronger. But importantly, better suited for combat. A football is $10 and weighs 400 grams. They also need some sort of clothing that can help them run the plays. The most economic option is 20 New York Jets jerseys, weighing 9 kilograms and costing you only about $5. Altogether, with all of these things we have brought, you're looking at 43.9 kilograms, or 97 pounds weight, very doable, at a cost of just $8,895. We need to leave one other thing behind. Something to mark our presence. Something untouchable. A relic of the weird man who came with 5 kilograms of silver and delicious fizzy drink. A puzzling clue for the archaeologists who will question the anachronistic artifacts before their eyes. In the central room of the ziggurat, with priests who view you as a demigod sent down to bless them with Tool, Pink Floyd, and Meshuggah on spinning silver discs, who came with loud stick that make fruit explode from range, who taught them to beware the gales of November and how to effectively score a 2-point conversion. You are going to leave one thing behind before you leave. Directly above the chair of the NC, out of reach for those who try and touch it, but protected from the sands of history. It shall be radiant and everlasting. It's beautiful. Net ihr, aber waren Sie schon mal in Baden-Württemberg? You have survived, and you have thrived, and you will be immortalized in the legends inscribed in clay. Thank you for watching.